Hello, thank you everyone. Thank you so much for coming. And I guess time is pressing, so all my guests, please welcome on stage. We've got Daphne, we've got Robert, we've got Kallon, we've got Nicolas, we've got Jen, Ruan and Clement. Yes, super big panel. Is there enough seats? Oh, there is enough seats. I was gonna be on the stool. Okay. That's Ray. Ray is the one sitting on the stool. He's helping me out at the BD department.
Hey,
so,
guys.
Let's get to it. Oh, got a nice seat. So all of these guests are having their projects at our place. So the first question that I would ask is, which industries do you think that are ripe for disruption with blockchain technology in the near future? That means within a couple of months. I mean, we heard all the projects today, but what you think would be the fastest industry to adopt? Sure.
Thank you, Jack. Hey everyone, xin chào các bạn. My name is Robert Vong, and I am a co-founder of Talo. Talo is a HR blockchain application, and so the question is, what industries will blockchain disrupt? I think any industry where your business model is to be the gatekeeper for data, or if you're an intermediary, you actually need to bring a lot more value than this because blockchain is coming and it's going to shake everything up. HR industry, thank you.
Okay, I'm Clement of the AIChain. I know everybody care about the data. The data resource is valuable. So I think maybe the DRM with the blockchain will be a nice idea in the future. Maybe it will coming out very soon. Because the blockchain is useful for individuals exchange. But if we use the DRM, the protected technology with the blockchain, I think the old users can exchange their data through the smart contract. We only use the smart contract to control the key delivery. I think nobody will care about the data content. Storage can be anywhere. So another thing is that video, audio, such things always have the high value. So I think the DRM with the blockchain has a good market in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Harig. I'm from Arxum. So we provide a production network. If you're talking about what's coming next in blockchain technology, so I think the first generation of blockchain project were those who tried to establish a new blockchain technology which should overwhelm the problems of the first generation of blockchain technologies. The second area we saw was projects consumer orientated, dealing with data, giving people the right on their data back. And I think the next generation will be business application. It's maybe more complex. It's more complex to understand. It's more complex to introduce. But the benefit of blockchain for different industries is huge. And I think it's a very big market potential behind it. And so I think this will be one of the next big trends we see. And already today we saw a couple of projects dealing with business application.
Hi there, everyone. My name is Nicolas Dinh. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of SDK Token. So our project is to enable instant payments at point of sale using cryptocurrency. And because I'm a financial services guy, I think financial services is ripe for disruption. So if you look at even first generation blockchain and you think about settlement times, when you compare it against what we're doing today with SWIFT money transfers, you think about 1, 2, 3 days to transfer funds across borders. Whereas with current settlement times, you can do that within a day. So I think right off the bat, financial services is an area of disruption. I know that, for example, if you look at things like personal financing, loans, mortgages, today, a person's credit rating is typically centralized. In North America, for example, Equifax controls that and manages someone's credit rating, and at times they're completely wrong with your credit rating, and people suffer because they can't get mortgages or short-term loans, etc. So I think in my mind, like taking that kind of credit rating system, decentralizing it is an area of disruption that could occur relatively quickly.
Hello, everyone. This is Ruan from Yeecall. For the question, I think at every industry, at the very beginning, tools is the first. I think everyone here, they don't know token, don't know technology, but they have to use wallet. So I think tools is first. And the second, maybe financial, just like global transaction, just like and some high technology like VR and AI. So that's my opinion. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Daphne. I'm from Singapore, and I represent SS, Blockchain Association of Singapore, as well as CEO of JEDTrade. So I mean, encapsulating the different verticals, I think in a broader sense, I would actually believe and be very interested in data ownership, the decentralization of data ownership, and to actually create trusted and valuable assets and make it actually tradable over time, over a trusted network. So I think in terms of that, in a broader sense, encapsulating across the verticals is on data and rights management as well. Yeah.
Okay. Could we have that picture up, please?
Hello, everyone. I'm the founder of the AIChain, Kallon.
Okay. I'll probably see this. So I'm going to be Kallon for a while. So hi, everyone. I'm founder of IFoods, Kallon. So IFoods is the global food testing chain. At the moment, we're currently on the league for public sale. And welcome everyone to participate. Thanks.
So I don't know if you guys can see this. I've got a little picture that I stole from one of my friends' WeChat moments. So that's typically right now how ICO is. So before the project starts, the white paper, it looks really, really good. And as it goes into production, it goes a little bit blur. And when it comes, the real thing, the real product, it looks sort of like that. So you guys can just come over and have a look at the picture down there as well. It's just down there as well. So what comments have you got since all of you are doing the projects as well? Yeah, go for it.
Hi again. So I think maybe this is not just an issue with ICOs. It's really about all projects. Whenever you sign on to a project, there are promises. And so as an investor, your job is really to find the best team with the best technology and execution. ICO is still a relatively new field. And so what happens is the investors, being retail investors, don't have the experience that they should have. And so many times, this is what happens. I think to an extent, it's not only limited to this field, but in all sorts of investments.
Yes, it's true. This picture gives a very interesting insight what's happening. But one thing is what you already mentioned. You should be carefully, you should really build your own opinion, you should evaluate it, you should evaluate the status of project and if it's really reliable. But on the other hand, one has to say blockchain is a new technology, and it's all new technology always has something to do with trial and error. Yeah? We must be aware that also if a project looks good, with experienced people, existing clients, whatever, it might fail. So this risk is due to this new technology. But on the other hand, it's very interesting to be part of it and to see how it's growing and to see how fast it's developing and to see how fast it's developing. And also the ICO world is developing fast. It becomes more senior. Projects becomes more professional. And I think this will also for the benefit of all of us who invest in projects.
I totally agree. I think blockchain and crypto in general, the technology is relatively new. But when you also think about other things, like for example, regulation, right? So regulators, government, they don't have a great grasp of this technology, of cryptocurrency in general. I think as regulations mature over time, I think it'll be easier to come out and take products to market without all that friction, right? I do believe that, you know, over time, this will become better understood. Regulations will start to be crystallized, and once they're crystallized, you can start building within the context of regulation. In general, though, I think there's a great opportunity here for all of us in this room. I think there's a huge upside with this technology being so new and so I think there's huge upside here. So everyone here, we're all taking a risk to build something, a next generation solution or platform that will potentially have some great implications to everyone's lives.
So I think product is everything, almost in every industry, especially in blockchain. But everyone may think that blockchain is a high technology, but today and the day after today, I think product is everything. If you can't make a good product, how you can earn money from users and your investor? If you have earned money so easy from your investor, but you don't make a good product, then you will pay for that. I think so. Thank you.
Well, I guess the foundational considerations very much centers on execution, whether is it you're doing an ICO or not. And I think it's important that we see a lot of the applications layer where you actually need an ecosystem adoption to actually have a very sharp angle and concept to actually focus on operationalizing it and not at the conceptualization stage. So we see a lot of projects stuck at that stage. But yet I also have seen a lot of these activities around protocol layers actually being very active on the testnet updates. And that's where it's inspiring as well. So there are also good projects out there. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just trying to be a devil's advocate here. Since everyone agrees that blockchain is a new technology and it's still growing. So my next question would be, what if something disrupts blockchain? And will blockchain be disrupted? Will it still be here in 5 years? Maybe you can start?
Okay. Okay. So to answer that, I think the answer will be definitely yes. The blockchain technology is going to exist in the next 5 years. Blockchain technology is so far the most advanced technology that merge the finance and also the technology itself. So the speed of the development is going to be more faster than the traditional internet technologies. And it derives into a lot of new industries. There's going to be a lot of opportunities, and we wish everyone to pay a lot of attention to the technology. Also, blockchain is a global, promoting the globalization. Under these circumstances, there's going to be a lot of attention and acknowledgement from the young generations, and it's actually attracting a lot of young generation to actually participating into this industry, and it's going to be a very energetic kind of creating an energetic environment. And the last part will be, we know the blockchain technology, and during the development, there's going to be a lot of problems. We need everyone to be, holding the face, and also, it needs a lot of public acknowledgement, and also it needs to landing into and really walk into everyone's daily life to make the application really useful. For example, IFoods is using the blockchain to actually conduct a lot of food safety detections, similar to what Walmart and IBM is doing, including like JD and also Alibaba. So IFoods is currently focused on this area and try to use, combine the AI hardware and blockchain technology into, the on-chain kind of food safety detective mechanism, whereby it provides the consumers and the customers with a fast way and fast track the process of detecting the food safety. So that's what we believe.
Okay.
Why we believe.
Thank you. Anyone else? Sure.
So, hi. So my position on this is a little bit different. I think the narrative is that blockchain is something new. In fact, blockchain is not new at all. The key technologies behind blockchain, look, if we only talk about Bitcoin, the cryptographic hash, we also have public key encryption. These were all invented in the 70s and 80s. Nothing's new. And the biggest innovation in proof of work was invented in the 90s. So my position is it's not new. It's only the application of these technologies which is new. And this is what we call blockchain. But blockchain itself is not a technology. It's a concept. And the concept is that we can take trust and automate it, put it onto a distributed system. We started off with very basic technologies, proof of work, but along the way we got proof of stake, delegated proof of stake, and I think there is one of the projects here is using something called RDPoS. So the concept itself will stay the same, but the underlying technologies will evolve.
I totally agree with that. I think the concept of blockchain or distributed ledger technology was born out of this need for decentralization, transparency, for the need of, really, it's solving a general problem. And whether blockchain as it is today, as its current structure or form or incarnation, as it is today, survives the next 5 years is unknown. I think, it will evolve, it'll become better, it'll become scalable. There are inherent problems with it that need to be resolved, but we're already seeing that some projects are trying to tackle this using different data structures, right? For example, people are using things like directed acyclic graphs instead of the traditional blockchain. So using a different incarnation of this idea of distributed ledger is what we're seeing happening today. And whether that technology supersedes blockchain as we know it today, it's debatable. It may come to fruition, it may not. But in general, that need for decentralization will always be there. And 5 years from now, there will still be that need.
Okay. I think we always talk about the decentralized and the blockchain technology, but I feel that maybe later we need to use the centralized system with the decentralized blockchain, because we still need to keep the high efficiency. In some cases, we must to use the centralized to improve it. But we need to keep some key points or key functions or something we need to trust it. We can put a little things into the blockchain. I think that will be better. So the blockchain technology will be not a leader role in future, and I think that all the company maybe will implement the blockchain inside of their products. The user will not see them, they just use it.
Yeah, so I agree, and in my opinion, so looking back, the internet established the possibility to distribute information. An email helps you to distribute information peer-to-peer. So if you're looking to blockchain, now it established the possibility to transfer values peer-to-peer. And this is the next step. And so therefore, and it's an important step, it will change the finance industry, and it has influence on further industries. So I think blockchain will remain, distributed ledger technology will remain. there will be further developments and improvements, and I still think it's still necessary to improve the blockchain technology, especially from a usability perspective. But I think the basic underlying blockchain technology and principles will remain, and also hopefully will much better in 5 years.
Okay, thank you. Daphne?
Yeah, so I think the spirit of the democracy, the spirit of decentralization will stay. But in terms of what form, I guess there are a lot of projects trying to actually address the current pain points, which is mainly on scalability, transaction fees, and even interoperability. So we'll end up seeing a lot of these projects having very good enablement for very specific use cases. But there won't necessarily be one that's going to save the world, so yeah.
Okay, so we've got different opinions from different people, but nevertheless, everything makes sense. So, what projects do you see in the market right nowadays? You know, there's so many of them right now. Which one doesn't really need blockchain?
Okay.
You don't have to mention the project's name if you don't want to.
Never.
You can just say the
Never,
industry.
never. And first, I think the project should be value exchange, not just information exchange first. And secondly, I think the project should be P2P. And I think some projects for now, I named it P2S, just person or peer to service, not peer to peer. Just like I can give you an example. You know VIPcade in China, VIPcade in China. It's a very powerful education project. You know, American teacher, they teach Chinese children for English, and it's a standard P2S model. Yes, person and at the behind service system. If this project transform to be blockchain project, I think it's not so good. But in internet, it's very good. It's a very good business model. So this is my opinion. So thank you.
Does anyone dare to attempt this? No? Okay, we'll move to the next one then. Really? Okay. So, last question. We've got 6 more minutes. We've sort of said that, you know, the technology will still be here. So, we said, what if the next scenario will be that which technology will be most likely to disrupt blockchain? Because you see, you got the projects that are not on blockchain. I think someone mentioned Hashgraph today during one of the sessions. So that's distributed ledger technology as well, but it's not built on the block. So what are your thoughts?
So directed acyclic graphs is actually a very good example that you can remove trust from a system without using the traditional block structure that we're used to. But I think, you know, I'm not good at predicting the future. I don't know anyone that really is good at predicting. And so what I think is people are very resilient and very innovative. Whenever we have a problem, whenever we encounter problems, we solve it and we move on. And so in order to guess at the future, let's look at the past. At the dawn of the Industrial Revolution, there was a shortage of manpower, so we invented the steam engine, and that got us through that hurdle. There was lack of labor, we invented a machine. Then distance, people were too far for us to communicate with, and so we invented the radio, and later we invented mechanization and many, many things. Now, in present-day society, what's holding us back? You know, where we can talk with people from around the world, we can fly anywhere within 24 hours. What's really holding us back? What's holding commerce back, what's holding our personal relationships back. And the problem is, I think it's the lack of trust. We always go through intermediaries where we have no options, and blockchain or even DAGs, in this case, helps remove trust from the system to make society work more efficiently. Now, I don't know what the next problem is. After we solve this trust problem, what's the next thing that's holding society back? And that's what we're going to solve. It's a silly answer, but that's what I got.
As I just guessed, maybe the AI, artificial intelligence, maybe can do it. As we know, the blockchain is developed by human. We always just think about the new ideas, like design the new rules and to design the new protocols. But the human cannot be trusted. Yeah, human cannot be trusted. So maybe in future, the AI can control the blockchain. Maybe not take place of it, just to control it. Like you can think about the AI robots, they run in the blockchain, they will judge and check who is good nodes and which node is bad. And I think in the future, human will trust the AI, that will be a better choice. Thank you.
Very good answer.
So it's a difficult question. So if I knew the right answer, what will be the next technology, I would become a very rich man. So, but I agree. So if you look what blockchain solves, it solves the lack of trust. So, and this problem is very valuable. It's necessary to solve it. And I think this will remain. And even if there are new technologies arising, it doesn't mean that blockchain itself will be not existing anymore. Maybe there will be some better techniques to solve this problem of lack of trust and provide a better technical solution. But the basic principle which was introduced by blockchain, that will remain, and that's important.
Okay. Suddenly I feel very much smarter now from all the inputs, but I could tell you a way how to solve the trust problem. You trust Huobi. I'm paid to do this. Thank you very much. I think our time is almost up, and I'm not going to hold you guys from our after party later. So thank you very much again. Thank you all my guests, and thank you everyone for listening to us. Thank you.